Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the channel. I am Atone. This is Atone Tarot. Sagittarius, you are tuned in for the topic of the trifecta. We will be tapping in and tuning in on finance, romance, and family. I will be breaking down your romance section via this relationship oracle deck. I will be tapping into your finance section via this career oracle deck, and I will close out your message with the tarot for family. So without further ado, Sag, let's get up into your message. I hope all is well with you guys. To my returning viewers, welcome back. For my newcomers, welcome to the channel. If you could, please smash that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Your girl would greatly appreciate it. I hope all is well with you and you're doing good. The video will be divided into chapters, so if you're not here for romance and you just want to know about the family and the money, you can jump to those sections of the reading. All right, Sag, let's see what's going on with my Sagittarius career / finances in the month of December. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do you guys need to know as it relates to your dough? Five cards, please, Spirit. 5 cards for my Sag. One more card, please. All right, Sag, let's get up into your message. So for career and finance, you receive moving up, ups and downs, the future, harmony, and new life. So I am really channeling for a Sagittarius collective that wants to pivot and reposition themselves in a different way as it relates to their career. Which, what else is new, right? Like, we all are on the hunt for something different, but this change is not necessarily in association with monetary changes. So yes, it will impact your money, but I'm speaking to a Sag collective that really wants harmony, balance, peace, and that is not going to be compromised, right? And they have learned quite a bit with ups and downs here on what they are willing to sacrifice and compromise as it relates to their peace in relation to their money, right? So you're really lining up your personal and professional life to create some type of parallel, which must be balanced, right? And you're working towards how you can make some changes and implement changes that will be very impactful for your future, Sag. You're really going to become more zen, if you will. I'm speaking to a Sag collective who in the past, they really relied on their dollars. They stood on their dollars. You know what I mean? They paid like they weighed type of energy. And not that that will not be the case moving forward, but now moving forward, you don't care. You don't care as it relates to how you're perceived in relation to what you have. You know, it's one of those things where you're learning that, you know, forget who says what. And we all say, oh, I don't care about this person, they don't pay my bills, they have but no, this Sag collective really will be motivated from the inside out on what they want out of their life. They're going to be so tunnel visioned as it relates to their peace, their life, what they want. It's borderline selfish, but it's not a selfishness that is unnecessary. It's necessary at this point, Sag, and you see it as necessary because you've given and outsourced your skills, your energy, your time, your money in the past, so much so that it began to tax you physically, right? So now you're saying, okay, let's reset, ground, and really work from a place of what do I absolutely need? What makes me smile? What makes me happy? You're asking some very, very basic questions about yourself in line with your career and to ensure that it lines up, right? Like you want to make sure, like, does what I do make me happy? And if it doesn't, what do I need to change about it to bring forth a certain amount of balance, peace, and happiness, right? It's not that you're not fulfilled, right? Because your life seems very fulfilling, right? But it's more so about physical and emotional peace that you have allowed to tip in a direction as far as the scales being balanced. Your scales have not been balanced, and you've had some ups and downs, but the future looks like you're going to ground, you're going to pray, you're going to be easy like a Sunday morning as it relates to what moves you in your career. And when you're grounded in harmony and in peace, your prosperity is natural. It flows like water. You won't have to feel as though you've chased down and exerted so much energy to get to what you want. The attraction of things are going to flow into you much easier once harmony comes into play in your world, Sag. So you're going to take stock of maybe, or have to make a decision around maybe even a promotion and whether or not that promotion will make you happy, right? Like, yeah, it's going to give me more money, but I'm going to be even more stressed out. And I'm going to have more responsibility. And the level of responsibility that I already have on my plate is daunting. It's heavy. So can I and will I be able to handle all of this? And I'm looking at some cards that say you have some decisions to make, Sag, on what you want your new life to look like, right? You are the co-creator of your life. So you have all of the power, if you will, to create this level of harmony, because ultimately that is the main ingredient to prosperity and abundance for you, Sag, is harmony, balance. The major arcana for Sag is temperance. Temperance is the epitome of balance: hot, cold, night, day, good, evil. You know what I mean? You have to have the opposite of that thing in order to know how to appreciate what you have. That is at the essence to me of what it is to be a Sagittarius. If I had to say, I'm not a Sag, so I don't know, but that's what it kind of it gives when I think of temperance, what it represents, right? So with harmony being here, I know that you have all the ability inside you, Sag, to create this level of balance, to look at the good as well as the bad, to look at what you do in the nighttime versus the daytime, to take into consideration what makes you hot versus what makes you cold, what makes you cry versus what makes you laugh, right? Being able to compare, doing that comparative analysis of your life, right? And lining that up as it relates to your career. Because once you do that and you fit it together, it's like I'm getting the image of a Rubik's Cube. And they are difficult to get together and line up, but I'm getting the image of a Rubik's Cube and a Sag that has just that last row to unlock, and they're getting very, very close to getting it all lined up sequentially in the right color schemes all around this Rubik's Cube. So my Sag is very close to deploying certain practices to create that balance and harmony, because and I think it's innately, intuitively, once you get that grounding, that balance, that your career and your finances are just going to flourish naturally. Yeah. So that is your financial message, Sag, and we are going to move on to romance. Let's see what is going on in the romance department for my Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. All right, Sag. Let's see if love is in the air for you guys. Is love in the air for my Sagittarius? Or is it funking up the room? Five cards, please, for my Sagittarius. Three more cards, please, for my Sag. One more card, please, Spirit, as it relates to love. All right. So for my Sag collective, you receive the Dragonfly, Love, Poker Face, Healing Heart, and Not Enough. I am speaking to a Sagittarius collective who is very intentional about love. Love is important to them. They do not just throw that word around easily, lightly. Love holds a lot of weight with this Sagittarius collective, right? So if the word love is coming up and out of their mouth, they mean it, and they better see the reciprocation of that love, because my Sag is not for the faint of heart, right? They are not for the weak. They are not here for play. If you're going to love them properly. And I know we all probably to some degree feel that way, but this Sag is very intentional. They will take their time. They are observing down to the pitch and tone of someone's voice and how they respond to them. They are watching, clocking, and they see, feel, and understand everything as it relates to their engagement with the opposite sex. They have suffered quite a bit as it relates to love. They've been through hell and back, right? And in that duration of what they've been through, they learned a lot. And they damn sure said, that's not going to happen to me again. You're going to have to prove yourself to me, and I will prove myself equally to you. So it's not a situation where the Sag is not willing to give and they're rigid. It's just that they are very in tuned with spotting bullshit a mile away. So you can't step to this Sag with game. It has to be genuine and true, honest and pure. And if it ain't that, the Sag is going to be able to sniff it out. So that's first things first with this message. You better be solid approaching a Sag, because they are very much loving themselves, healing from a past hurt as it relates to love. And, they just going about their life easy breezy, like, nothing is wrong with the world, but they are healing a broken heart. And I don't want to be so dramatic and say, it's they're rolling around on the ground so upset at home at night when no one's watching. No, they just don't want everybody in their business and asking them questions about maybe something they went through or why they're not in a relationship. So they keep a poker face. They keep a smile on their face. And with not enough being here, I'm not picking up on a Sag who doesn't feel like they are not enough. I'm picking up on a Sag who's looking out into the dating arena and saying, is not enough real ones out there to create some real options for me anyway. I'm too busy loving myself and living life. Arbitrarily living life. This Sag is not even thinking about love. And if love comes up, it's about self-love and anything they can pour into themselves and figuring out what makes them smile, what makes them happy, and people around them that they love, like children, parents, siblings, making them feel love. That's the extent of love I'm picking up here for my Sag. So it's feeling real dry on the line as it relates to the love life for my Sag, but my Sag don't seem to care. They don't mind. They don't mind, not one bit. They're not even looking for love. And that is sometimes the best way to find it. It's when you're not looking for it. But this is one of those things where, we hear often about how self-love is the best love, and you should spend time taking yourself out on dates and really understanding yourself and knowing who you are and what you like and what you don't like. This is a Sag who is genuinely doing this, right? And they're intentionally doing this. They're purposefully doing this. Like, what do I like? Who am I? How do I like to wear my hair? Where do I like to go to have fun? Really exploring these things about themselves and understanding these things about themselves enough. Because every time they seem to peek their head out to see what's going on in the dating scene, they be like, ooh, it's crazy over there. I don't want no parts of that. And they go back into their little cubby hole and say, no, thank you. Right. So there's a bit of isolation going on with this Sagittarius. But during this time of isolation, I really, again, this is continuation from the career read. Right. If you stuck around for the career portion of the read, it was really finding balance, finding a point of self-love, appreciation, skill sets, really identifying who you are, what you're made of, what you like, what you don't like, and understanding those things so intuitively and so well that it just shows up and resonates in your being from the inside out. Yeah, it's the same message for love. Like, you're doing the same thing in love. And that, again, just like with career, and you may not even be thinking about it this way, but like I stated early, when you're not looking for it, that's when it finds you. And when you love yourself and know yourself at this level, you're going to attract in the appropriate balanced partner. Just like you will have the appropriate balanced career, because you know who you are, right? From a position of what you will and won't tolerate. And that is at the center of your focus right now, Sagittarius. Understanding, knowing who you are, pouring into yourself without lack or limitation. Really saying, I'm going to give that level of love, effort, energy that I poured into other people external to myself that I love. It could be children, it could be a significant other where you really went hard and bent over backwards. And not to say that you shouldn't have for these individuals. I'm not saying that the individuals that I'm speaking about in your life are not or were not worthy of that level of attention, engagement, and or love from you. But this season, this phase of your life right now, Sag, is for you. It is for you, and it will springboard and unearth beautiful things in romance as well as finance. All right, Sag, I like it. Let's see what is going on with your family. What's going on with my family? With my Sagittarius family. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And if you haven't done so already, please smash that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Your girl would greatly appreciate it. All right, Sag. And my apologies. I got you guys reading out, I think, on the second Tuesday, somewhere in there. And I should have had y'all first. I should have had y'all out and on the first. Because it is your season, right? We in your season. Forgive me, Sag. Your girl was just moving systematically. And I went from beginning to end. So I won't let it happen again. But Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for my Sagittarius collective as it relates to family. What do they need to know? All right, Sag, let's get up into it. So for your family message, you received the Five of Wands, the Tower, the Devil in reverse, the Two of Swords in reverse, and the Six of Cups. So as it relates to family, something's going down that is something chaotic is going on with someone around you. This is not impacting you, but this person is close to you, whether it be a significant other, a sibling, a niece, a nephew. Someone has a tower moment, and they might even have this tower moment because you ask them a question that unravels or starts to unravel something in their mind that starts to create maybe a bit of panic. Someone says something that sends someone down the path of spiraling to some degree. And then this person can't get this out of their head. And once the thing that is said is out there, it becomes a domino effect of events. And Sag, you or someone like just barely is like, I don't want nothing to do with it. It's like you started it, But now it becomes or starts to grow and snowball into something bigger. And then you start to say, no, leave me out of it. I know I started the conversation and I asked this question, and you almost feel like, damn, I should have kept my mouth shut. I shouldn't have said anything. Because whatever this thing is that you ask about or speak on or bring up, someone begins to make moves, decisions, have conversations with other people, and it starts to create a downstream impact inside your family, right? It's almost like, I'll give this as an example. If two sisters, no, let's use cousins are talking, and one cousin reveals something in conversation that they thought the other cousin knew about another family member, and you're like, wait a minute, I ain't know grandmom had 3 baby daddies. Again, just an example. If this is not your message, if it don't apply, let it fly. And once that information is up and out, you like, oh shit, I thought this person knew. They didn't know, right? And now the cousin wants to pick up the phone and go call the other family member and confront and discuss the information where something was said and maybe more context to the conversation is needed, but the person is off to the races, to the other family member to maybe pass the information down the line, and they might be spreading, I won't say lies, but they spread information now that they didn't confirm with grandmom. So they don't necessarily go confront grandmom. They go to another cousin and be like, did you know grandmom had 3 baby daddies? It's 3 of them when it's really only 2. Or the third one is a stepfather. There's context, right, that needs to be added to the conversation. And you need to be talking to grandmom, not the other family members. It's something like that where you might say something and then down the lane it goes, right? Where you started and somebody takes it and it's like, that's not even what I said, or it's partially what I said, but so-and-so didn't give the full context of the conversation, and now it becomes a mess. And you say, leave me out of it. Leave me out of it. I don't want nothing to do with this drama. That's not even why I said anything or mentioned it, as it started, or when you started down the path in the conversation, your intent was honest. You are a very honest, direct sign. You're not one for bullshit, right? You're not going to bullshit someone. Someone might even came to you and asked you something. Just call inside the family. Someone in the family called you. As soon as you picked up the phone, they was already with the questions. They didn't even greet you. They said, grandma got 3 baby daddies. Didn't even say hello. And you like, yeah. And then they click, hang up, and they're on to the next person. And you're like, wait, there's more that I have to say or give. And you like, you know what? Leave me out of it. I told the truth as I known it to be. That's my truth. Now, the truth and facts are 2 different things. They are not the same, right? So facts are facts. They can be proven. There's no getting around that information. There's evidence to support whatever is being said. Truth is what is done with facts. It is the interpretation of facts. Truth adds a layer of perspective. So this has perspective, like is needed, context. Those things that are missing, they can create chaos inside a family. And that's what this is giving. Someone got information and they didn't get all the information, and they made a decision either to do or say something based off of not having all of the information, and it might create a tower moment or an issue for someone else because they didn't ask maybe a follow-up question. And then when you look at it and you think back, you like, this family member always do this. I always get caught up in this situation with this family member. where they tell me something, I believe them, and then I go and do something in response to what they told me, and I should have waited and asked more questions instead of just jumping and trusting whatever was said 150%. So ask some follow-up questions. Be leery of people coming at you and asking you just random questions about family, Sag, because it may create some drama around you that you might wind up having to put some distance between you and other family members, with this devil being in reverse. So that is your message, Sag. And until next time, I hope that this helps. Peace.